But let me tell you something. I was in some real trouble. This thing circulated fast. It got back to the streets of New York quick. By the time that article came out, the warden said to me, "You're going in lockdown. We got word from the FBI. You're in trouble, man. Big trouble." As it came about, I took a stand and I did renounce my life. Something happened, I had to renounce. Can't get into it all right now. Too complicated. When I did that, all hell broke loose in my life. My dad disowned me. Boss of my family, Carmine Persico. He's doing 130 years right now in Lompoc. Convicted on a mob commission case in '86. My boss, we were very close. When he heard that, contract on my life. We don't use the term contract, but it's what you people understand. In other words, he put it out. Get this guy. I'm in jail with 15 other mob guys. They locked me down. People, I had a rough time from that time on. I get out of jail. I'm on parole. The FBI was on me like you would not believe. "Francis, you're a dead man anyhow. You may as well cooperate with us. We'll put you in a program. We'll change your identity, your life, the whole bit. Okay, you got to cooperate with." They put so much pressure on me, and they did do me dirty. When I did, I said, "I don't want to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to betray my dad in that way. He already is upset with me." They went a step further and put my name on the witness list of 8 major trials that were going on in New York. I was telling my dad, "I'm not going to do it." Nobody believed me. They were getting the discovery material. I was a witness. And I knew all of these people, and I knew the stuff they were involved with, and the feds knew it, and they were setting me up in the worst way back then. They pressure you when they want you. I could have hurt a lot of people, but I didn't want to do that. Okay, but the word was out. I get out on parole. I'm on parole for 13 months. People, it was the worst time in my life. My wife will tell you, I'm running from one place to the other. The feds are coming out there. They're telling me they got word from their informants. People are out on the street coming to get me. We had to pick up and move. Went to Palm Springs one weekend because I had people in town looking to get me. She probably don't even know it, but I can say it now. It's years later. I'm having a heck of a time. I'm getting word back. I'm like a fish out of water in LA, trying to make a living, support my family. I'm doing everything wrong. I got to tell you something. I screwed up. Jesus wasn't in my heart. I wasn't surrendering to him. My mother-in-law's telling me, "Give yourself a break. Surrender to Jesus. He's going to help you out." I said, "Ma, God helps those who help themselves. Don't bother me with that stuff. He forgive me my sins. I got to straighten my life out." That's what I believed. How to be in control. You guys understand what I'm saying? How do you give it up? Well, I make a mistake. I go back and do some stupid stuff, and I get violated on my parole. I kiss my wife goodbye one morning, so I'm going to the bank. I'll be right home. I'll bring coffee. I go into the bank. I come out of the bank. There's 15 FBI agents there and a paddy wagon. Put the handcuffs on me, throw me in a wagon, taking me down to MDC in LA. "Francis, you violated parole. You're going back to New York for a hearing. And on top of that, we got new informants, old crimes. You're going to jail for the rest of your life. Your life is over. That's it. You're done." They're taking me down to that lockup. I get into the lockup, and I want to tell you what my situation is. They're going to transport me the next morning. I'll tell you what my situation is. I'm in there, and here's my thought process. Okay, this young girl, 5 years in prison, 13 months on parole, tough time. We got no money. They took everything from me. How is this girl going to live now? After all she's been through, I'm going to lose my wife. We had 2 little children now. They're right there. I'm going to lose my wife and kids. They can't put me back on the yard because my life is in danger. They're never going to take that responsibility. They're going to keep me locked down. I don't even have money to pay for a lawyer now. They took everything. What am I going to do? I got nothing but enemies. I can't even call my father. Nothing. I screwed up my whole life. People, I want to tell you something. I have felt every emotion in this life that you can imagine, from grief down up to ecstasy, everything in between. But by far, the worst emotion you can feel in your life is hopelessness. When you feel there's no place to go, nothing you can do, nobody to help you, nobody to turn to, it is the worst feeling in the world. It's a precursor to suicide. Anybody will tell you that. Now, I wasn't suicidal that night, but I wanted to just lay down and not wake up. My heart was hurting so much. It was the worst night of my life. My heart was breaking. It was a physical pain. I couldn't bear it. I wanted to lay down, close my eyes, and not wake up, and I was angry with God. "God, I tried to accept you. I'm living with this godly woman, and look what you've done to me." We blame God when we make mistakes. And I laid on that cot, and my head was pounding. I just wanted to forget everything. A prison guard walks by my cell. He says to me, "Francis, you okay? You don't look too good." I chased him away. I said, "Get away from me. I don't feel good. Leave me alone tonight." He left, took my orders, came back about a minute later, and he had this book. It's a Bible. And he pushed it through the slot on the door, and boom, I heard it thump. And I look up, and my eyes are groggy, and I'm looking at it on the floor. This guy sends me a Bible? I want a bottle of Prozac or something. I want a Bible. You know, that's how you make me feel better? And I'm looking at the Bible, people, I'm not adding to this. I can remember it vividly. I'm looking at that Bible, and I'm getting so angry with God. All my emotion starts to build up. I jump off that cot, I pick up the Bible, throw it against the wall. Hard as I could, like everything came out of me. And for a second, I said, you know what? I got everybody in the world mad at me today. I got nothing but enemies. I don't need God mad at me. It's only me and him in this cell. And I picked the Bible up again. And I looked at God and I said, you know what, God? I need something to make me feel better tonight. I don't care what it is. Say something. Do something. Let me read something. Show me. I need to have some hope. I need to feel better. And I started thumbing through the book with that in mind. And the first verse that I remember reading, I never read Proverbs before, but guys, you want to read an intelligent book? Read the book of read what God has to say about Solomon in Kings. He says to Solomon, because of what you didn't ask for and because what you asked me for, nobody before you will ever be as wise, and nobody after you will ever be as wise. And I challenge you to read Proverbs, read what Solomon wrote, and tell me if there's anybody ever more brilliant in your life, okay, other than Jesus, but he had an advantage, he was God. But other than that, nobody else. Amazing. And the first verse I remember reading, Proverbs 16:7. When a man's ways are pleasing to the Lord, even his enemies are at peace with him. And for some reason it touched my heart. But you know what, people? I never seen a vision of God. I never heard him in my sleep. I don't have dreams and God comes alive to me. Never happened. I'm not saying people don't. Never happened to me. But God speaks to my heart all the time now. And now I'm listening. That was the first night I listened because I needed to hear something. I really needed him. And I started to read on. And I came to Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not in your own understanding, and he will make your paths straight. And that's been the verse that I hope is guiding my life, because I need my path straight all the time. But it tells you, trust in the Lord, lean not on your own understanding. And you know what I realized, people? God needed to get my attention. He knew that the only way I was going to listen to him was if he broke me down, got me to my knees, took away every distraction, and made me realize, now you're going to depend on me. You got nothing else. There is nobody else. I've been trying to school you for all of these years, all of these months. You didn't want to listen. Okay, I'm going to take dramatic action. Here's where you're going to stay for the next 3 years. The 50 years that were going to give me turned into 4. I spent 29 months in a hole in lockdown. You know what? God saved my life in those 29 months, because that's when I challenged him. That's when I said, prove it to me, Lord. My mother-in-law and my wife had telling me to surrender. Dr. Taylor, prove it to me. I did it once before. It didn't work. Now you got to show me. And I read the Bible with that in mind. If you see my prison Bible, there's more of my notes on there than there is scripture. I had my wife send me every Christian book that you can imagine, starting with Chuck Colson's Born Again. Okay? Read books, absorbed the Lord, wanted to learn about him, wanted to research him, wanted to hear him, wanted to be comforted by him. Greg Laurie. God bless Greg Laurie. I had a Sony Walkman. I listened to Pastor Laurie every day, and he filled me with the Spirit, the way he interpreted Scripture and made me love Jesus even more. People, don't only read the Bible. There's some great gifted authors out there, Lee Strobel, Josh McDowell, just to name a few, that are so gifted in interpreting Scripture. Lee was here a couple of weeks ago. What a man, huh? Okay? What a man. The things that he's done, the way he interprets Scripture to make us understand that Jesus is alive and well. He gives us the proof. He gives us the evidence. I came out of that cell. There was days when I was actually happy in there. I came out of that cell. I had surrendered to the Lord. And I said, God, I'm giving it up to you. I don't know what I'm going to do when I get out. I don't know how I'm going to survive. I don't know if I'm going to make it through all of this. But I am going to trust in you, Lord. I'm giving it to you all the way, hook, line, and sinker. And people, I want to tell you something. I'm not telling you it's been easy. But do you think I ever thought I'd be speaking and sharing testimony? I get out of prison. Dr. Taylor says to me, Mike, I want you to give you a testimony. I said, testimony? I said, I thought you did that from a witness stand. I didn't even know what it was. I was waiting to see if he had a badge. I said, would you become an agent in the 4 years I'm away? But I couldn't refuse him because he was such a wonderful man. They were so great to my family when I was in there. And I said, you know what? These people love the Lord. In turn, they love my family. My family had another family while I was away. And so many things started to happen. They're making a movie on my life. I'm writing books. I'm speaking all over the country, sharing my testimony. I've been blessed in so many ways, so much more than I deserve, people. And that's because, you know what? My wife will say to me, she said to me, you are a miracle.